All right. What is up, everybody? I don't remember these settings. Okay. Anyways, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? By the way, guys, if you're watching the replay later on, this is a live Q&A session, and even though we're not doing a direct, how to or how it works type of training, if you want to view the video or view the question section of the video, make sure to go ahead and skip forward a little bit, because that is, I would say, like 3 to 5 minutes, because we usually take the first little bit or first little bit of the video to just say hello, give some time for people to hop on. So if you're wanting to see the questions, go ahead and skip forward. But for those of you that are here live, welcome back. If this is, if you're a repeat viewer, if you're new, welcome as well. My name is Jordan, and I am a serial entrepreneur. I also make cereal. No, I don't make cereal. Everybody always asks me if I make cereal. I had someone ask me literally last night if I make cereal. But anyways, how's everybody doing tonight? Y'all do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you're just now hopping in, to help the performance of the video. And so that way other marketers just like you can get in here and ask some questions. Also, do me a favor and write a comment saying your name or where you're from or the name of your agency. Any of that information is great, so I can get to know a little bit more about you. Alan, what's going on? Luis, what's up? Abdullah, what's up? Yeah, you guys are in the morning time over in India. What time is it over there? Like early morning? Like super early morning? Like 6 a.m.? I got popcorn in my teeth. I shouldn't have eaten popcorn before doing this. That was a big mistake. Isn't that like the worst part of popcorn? Like you get all of the stuff in your teeth and you're just like, it tastes so good. Alan, no, we haven't hit 100 comments yet. I think we're probably at like 18, 15, something like that. But in time, it'll get there. A bowl of marketing O's. See, honestly though, guys, when I made Serial Entrepreneur the brand and we really started to take off, the funny part was I was sitting there one day with Ted and I was like, yo, we should make like an entrepreneurial based cereal, one that's like brain food type of stuff. Like the cereal that we make actually, incorporates nutrients and vitamins or whatever that help with like brain functionality. And that would be my cereal brand. I'm going to do that one day, trust me. Because it'll go perfect. Like, we have a bunch of entrepreneurs. If I can make a cereal that improves brain functionality, that's just going to sell itself to my audience that I'm already, marketing to. Anyways, my name is Success D. Morris. I run Success D. Morris social media marketing agency. Well, welcome to today's video. Jack from Jackson, Ohio. Everything's going. Here's the thing, guys. The U.S. has had, for those of you who aren't in the U.S., because I see people posting about it too who don't live in the U.S. Like, are you guys okay? And I see the memes going around. And here's something that I want people to kind of understand, or at least that it's my opinion, not opinion, but it is my opinion. But I think it's I think it's a freaking fact. But we've had a lot of issues in our country with race. Obviously, that's a big thing that we, have struggled with in our history as a country. And, people who are suppressed and are treated with inequality, or who have to go through any type of cultural hardship, at least in our country, it's always been obviously a white dominated society until obviously the last, what, 60, 70 years, where we've finally started realizing that the things that our forefathers were doing were not good. They weren't right. It's not very humanitarian of us, where it's just a terrible thing to do. And a lot of people don't understand. Like, so for example, my stepdad is actually black, and a lot of people don't know that about me. But like, I have black people, African American, whatever you want to call it, in my family. So like my stepbrother, my stepsister, I have nieces and nephews. I have sisters-in-laws and brother-in-laws that obviously, so, you know, obviously I cannot speak to it because I personally have not had to deal with racism in a way that a black person or African American person would have to. But I can remember, because my mom and my stepdad have been together since I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. So this is back in the 90s, and I can remember going out to restaurants and, you know, just people looking at me, my mom, my two other little brothers, and, you know, my stepdad awkwardly because of the relationship that my mom was in with him. And even though, you know, it obviously, I still am white, I still don't, again, I'm not trying to compare, but I can say that I've seen what it feels like to be looked down on for something so trivial. And so it's interesting to me, everything that's going on, but eventually, guys, what happens is people just get fed up. And I don't think that a lot of what people are doing is right, because the rioting and the looting, you know, that does not help anyone's cause, especially not the black movement. And, you know, it puts it in a negative light, and it hurts to see that kind of stuff happen, especially, you know, in my own country. So here's the thing. I think we're okay. I know we're okay. I think that the biggest thing is we're going through a period of change, and it's finally become super important, not only in, you know, one secluded area or one city. It's become important all over the country. And now, you know, there's all kinds of people speaking out on this movement who, you know, it's not just black people anymore. It's white people, it's Asian people, it's Hispanic people. Everybody's kind of speaking out against racism because they're sick of it. And I totally understand that. So anyways, not to get too far off track, but America's fine. I think that we're going through a rough time, and I think that ultimately, you know, we have to make the change ourselves. And I think the coolest part is the fact that our generation, my generation, and even the younger generation has really, you know, done a lot of work towards ending or at least minimizing racism and inequality. At least in our own country. So I think it's a healing process, and I think that we're close, but there's still obviously a lot of work left to be done. Dominique's from Vegas. We'll get back to social media marketing now. Sorry about that little heartfelt moment, but I thought that was an interesting thing. And, you know, it's something that's been obviously on my mind for the last couple of days because of everything going on. What are y'all's thoughts? If you want to leave them, feel free to put them in there. Let me see. Thanks, Mom. I love you too. Where am I at? Regarding your raffle giveaway. Yeah, Alan. I knew what you were talking about, dude. It just hasn't reached 100 comments yet. But we did, guys. I guess I should mention that video. So I had a student reach out to me, student in the DMS 2.0. And he reached out to me earlier this week on Monday, I believe, and was like, dude, I killed it. I landed 8 clients in the last week and a half. I did $5,000 in a week. I'm going to be doing basically $5,000 a week for the next month. So he should be hitting his 20K per month target here pretty soon. So it's really exciting. But if you guys didn't see it, he and I went live on Wednesday, so yesterday, and we talked about his experience and what he did and why he felt, you know, and this wasn't even in like, because it was kind of impromptu, like it came together very, very quickly. There was really no planning as far as like a script or what was going to be said. So it was very organic, which, you know, I think you guys would appreciate, but it was his experience on how he landed these clients, what he did, and the reason why he felt like my program was the reason why he was able to do it, because he said, he mentioned taking Tai Lopez's course first and getting nowhere with it. And, he's been going through my training and my programs and listening to my, stuff about it, and has done a complete 180, and now is, almost at a point where he's able to quit his full-time job and go work for his agency full time. So it's super, super cool. If you guys are wanting to see and Jarrell just said it's an inspirational video, especially given Nate's background. He and I actually have similar backgrounds. He was selling drugs, a long time ago. I don't know what. I don't think that matters regardless. And he realized that he was getting in a bad, spot in his life, and he wasn't going the direction that he wanted to be going. And he's made this complete 180, not only in his life, but in his agency. And it's just really impressive. And it's honestly humbling to see something like that, because it's just amazing to see somebody's work ethic turn around and change their life completely. And it's really cool. Like it's cool for me. Like I love seeing my students be able to do that. So, but anyways, we posted it yesterday, so make sure to go check that out after tonight's live Q&A if you want some really good insight as to how he landed 8 new clients and how he's doing 5K a week. You should definitely go check that out. So let me see. You should review students or subscriber agency websites. I would love your opinion of mine. I feel like I need a better call to action. I'm sure that people would love that. That would be super time consuming, and like that's the only thing. I obviously can't just sit there and review everybody else's websites, because I'd never do anything for my own business. So that's the thing. Like I can pretty much do anything you guys need me to do as far as helping you guys out. The only issue is now with both of my businesses running, just my personal life, everything going on, it makes it very difficult to do anything almost for free now. I still do occasionally things for free or, without asking for money. And I try to give back, obviously, like free courses, stuff like that. But now it is a lot harder to actually do things for free because of just time constraints. So I'm working for a company based in Canada from India. I'm working for a company based in Canada from India, okay? I'm doing mostly everything according to the books in my previous experience, but I'm not able to get decent likes on the Facebook app page. You mean their Facebook business page? Here's the thing. Likes are, if you're talking about like on a post, all that's going to do is help with organic reach, meaning you'll see more people will see the post. But in my opinion, that's the only time that likes are valuable. Like page likes only do one thing, and that's add credibility to a business or a brand. So obviously the more likes you have, usually the more seriously people will take your page or your business, or the more legitimate you look. But truthfully, man, and it depends on the business, but like for local style businesses, unless it's like a restaurant or a club or something like that, like say it's a doctor's office, you don't need 10,000 likes. If it's a chiropractor, you don't need 10,000 likes. You need like a couple hundred, and really that's all you need. And as long as you're running ads, number one, you'll get more likes from running the ads. Number two, ad campaigns are really what drive traffic and sales to begin with, not likes, right? So I don't really I hardly ever run like campaigns for anybody. Like they literally have to directly request to get more likes, or they have to have a brand new page, and I'll run a like campaign for like $50 to $100 just to get their page, a baseline of likes, so that way they don't look like they're brand new or empty. Just adds a little bit better of a perception to their business. So that's my honest suggestion. You shouldn't be worried about running ads for likes. I think it's as simple as, if you don't like the people in this country, then leave. Airfare is cheap. It's actually not as cheap now. I'm kind of pissed. I was looking because I was watching this cooking show the other day because I like cooking, and I was looking at tickets to Michoacan or something like that. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Michoacan or something like that, in Mexico, because I really want to go to Mexico. But anyways, I was looking at flights. They were like $500 again, instead of like 2 months ago I probably could have got it for $75, like round trip. But anyways, yeah, Christian, here's the thing. We can't resolve it that way either. Obviously, it's just impossible. And we would love to just say, hey, cool, if you don't like it, leave. We know that number one is never going to happen. And number two, people are stubborn. So if you tell them to leave because of that, that's going to make them want to stay more, right? I think the biggest issue, or one of the biggest issues, is people rioting and doing all the damage that they're doing to other people's businesses. Like, that's what they're not understanding. You're hurting families, you're hurting people. And these people take those experiences and they remember that. And that turns into animosity towards your movement. Like, that's what people don't understand, is you trying to impose your way on other people by hurting them or damaging them does not help. It's the same thing with Hitler and the Jews, dude. Like, he tried to impose his will on them. If they didn't like it, then he killed them. And I don't think there was a single Jew outside of the ones that were like, making money off the war, and even they probably didn't like Hitler. It's the same type of mentality. Like, oppression does not, and not just oppression, but like trying to impose what you want on other people is not the way to do it. Like, that's why I didn't agree with like Malcolm X's way of going about it. Whereas Martin Luther King, even though, he ended up getting killed for it, I still think the non-violent approach is the only way you're going to get anyone to listen to you. That's why and guys, seriously, this is actually going to lead into a good sales topic. But if you guys want to learn how to communicate better, because this is what it's a lack of ability to communicate. People suck at communication now. If you really want something that is a great book on communication, Thank You for Arguing is amazing. And it's not like, it doesn't actually teach you how to argue. It's just, it's a catchy title, but it teaches you about how to communicate with people, to where most people don't understand that, like, the message they're trying to put out there to people, it's not getting heard. And this happens in sales when you're selling your products too. Like, most of the time, people don't understand your message because you don't communicate it properly. And it can come down to certain things like the way you say it, your tone when you say it, your hand gestures, your body language, your I guess energy that you're putting out, right? All of those things kind of can tell a story, right? And if one thing is adjusted, it adjusts the perception of the story. So anyways, getting back to SMMA, go get Thank You for Arguing. You'll appreciate the book. But those are all my thoughts on the stuff happening in the US right now. We got someone watching from the Philippines. Awesome. We get tons of Filipino watchers. What's the best way to get results for real estate agents? Switching niches. Well, here's the thing. Real estate is a tricky industry. For one primary reason, all of the listing sites out there like Zillow and Home Finder and all of these other sites that just show homes, they're super competitive. And the reason being is because they're spending huge ad budgets to show up in the top of results pretty much every single time. There's usually 3 to 4 of them showing up there. And so as a real estate agent, for someone who has a client that's a real estate agent, you're competing against those big companies. So a couple of things that you can do are, number one, driving traffic to your website is going to be super important, right? Getting cold traffic to your site. So SEO and ranking in your local search results is going to be super important. Making sure that you come up in the maps and reviews section is going to be imperative to driving traffic and getting new leads. So SEO, number one. Outside of that, you can look at social media marketing. As far as cold traffic is concerned, it is a lot more difficult. You will have to spend more money. But then one of the more important things is dynamic advertising in your follow-up. And what that means is people who are visiting your agent's websites need to be seeing the homes that they already looked at, right? They don't just want to see any random home in an ad. So if you're, say somebody, made it to your site, I'm actually going to close this down today since it's been so late. What was I saying? People who are visiting your site, they're looking at specific houses, right? Not a house that maybe you posted yesterday and it's like the nicest looking house. So that being said, they've already got an idea of what they like. What you need to do is have dynamic advertisements running that show them the houses that they were looking at. And you can do that by using the pixel and setting it up on each one of your listing pages. So that's what I would recommend. Really, it's about with real estate, it's about having your name out there. And so really things like, a consistent branding campaign where it's just like, maybe something funny that is just, it's generalized, but it's about the fact that that person, he or she, is a real estate agent, and you just continuously slowly drip it to your local market. Because that's the thing, most people in the real estate industry will tell you that people who move typically don't move, all the way across the country. They're literally moving within 20 to 30 minutes of where they currently live. So those types of strategies are super important, but I mean, there's a lot that you can do, really. So just to give you a few ideas, I guess that'll be what I'll go with. Is there something wrong with the Zoom? It won't let me in. There isn't, but that's okay. We're gonna keep it off tonight. Give it a break for a little bit, and we'll just do the questions. We'll come back to it next week. Yep, lead forms. Do you need multiple SSLs for your website for different browsers? Nope. You should only need one SSL. I don't even think it's possible to put multiple SSLs on your website. I'd actually have to look at that. Let me see. Hey Jordan, just a thank you for everything. I'm starting up my own agency based on some prior experience and loving your content. It's been very helpful so far. Anthony, I'm happy to help, man. Definitely check out, and just so you guys are aware, if you're not aware, then let me make you aware very quickly. We have a bunch of stuff out there that you guys can utilize. So I'm gonna bring this over here real quick. All right, so look, this is the video. This is like literally today's video, right? If you go right below the video, I just want you guys to see these resources because we have a ton of great ones. Here is our intro level course. It's a $7 program. All right, so you can get in the intro level course and get an idea. It's going to cover every big topic within starting an agency, but it's obviously not as thorough as our intermediate and advanced. This is the course that Nate is in, the guy that we were talking about earlier that landed 8 clients and will do probably around $20,000 by the end of this month, even during coronavirus, which is pretty impressive. Anyways, this is the course that he is taking that really changed the game for him. This one is $549. We have a mentorship program right here. That's only $10 a month, and you get live videos like this every single week with me. And then finally, we have our Done With You Agency program. This is our newest program where me and my team actually do all of this stuff right here with you. And a lot of it's even done for you. So for example, we actually design and build your logo for you. We build out your sitemap and your, where's sitemap? Yep, sitemap and site wireframe for your website. So all you have to do is you can hire our in-house web developer for only 25 bucks an hour, I might add, and that is at cost. We're not making any money off of that. But you can hire our in-house web developer for only 25 bucks an hour to get your site built. So that way you can actually have a professionally designed website that will look something like this. But obviously built towards your brand, your content, everything like that. So that way you can have your own website with all of your services, your team, different resources, your about page, contact page, your call to action set. Everything will be ready to go, and we'll show you the actual builder. But anyways, just wanted to make sure you guys knew about those resources because they are super helpful to have. The biggest thing, guys, again, and Nate will tell you what the biggest adjustment was for him was the training. Sorry, let me bring this back up. Okay. The biggest adjustment was the training and actually taking the training seriously. And not that he wasn't before, but it's more about the fact that it was a training that is more serious as well. I think that really has a lot to do with it. We're not just your average, hey, here's some marketing concepts, go and try to market. Like that's what he even says about Ty Lopez. He was like, dude, I got done with this course and I felt like I understood the theory behind a lot of it, but I didn't understand how to actually do it. And that's what blew my mind about it too. I was sitting here, I'm like, wait a second. So you're going to teach these people about how they can do it and how they can make money, but you're not going to actually show them the exact ways to perform those campaigns. It blew my mind when I finally got through that program, and just again, it's the whole reason why I was like, I've got to start a better program than this because this is terrible. I'm in Minnesota, and it's bad in the city. Yeah, dude. I mean, you're in the worst of it, man. If a new campaign doesn't get any engagement in the first day, what would you do? I mean, are you running an engagement ad objective, Jarrell? Because if you're not running an engagement ad objective, number one, that's going to make it a little more difficult. Number two, when you say engagement, are you talking about link clicks or signups, like actual leads, filling out a form? What type of engagement are we talking about here? Can you clear that up for me? And I'll get that answered. I saw Billy made an ad off it. That guy is smart. I haven't seen Billy's new ad, but it wouldn't surprise me because that's all he does. He takes trending topics, and that's what really good ads are a lot of the time. It's seriously just taking a trending topic, figuring out how to work it into the product or service you offer, and boom, advertise it to an audience that might need that product or service. That's why Billy Jean is really great at advertising, and most people don't get that, but it's that simple. He's also a very good storyteller, and he does really good with video production, which is a whole other side of it. So, I mean, definitely something for you guys to keep in mind if you're running your own ad agency. Comparing this movement to Hitler? Yes, totally am. No, and in its own small way. It's not the exact same thing. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But there are similarities between oppression, slavery, and what is going on today because it's literally where it came from. It was the origin of all of everything that's going on right now. The origin was slavery. So, very, very similar situations in some ways. Who's the author of the book? Shoot, I don't remember who wrote. Thank you for arguing. I mean, you can just look it up, though. You'll find it online, I promise you. It's a very popular book. I can't remember who wrote the book, though, right now. Need to teach more communication skills and psychology in school? You do. You just get it in college. You don't get it in, grade school. Billy, Ty Lopez's courses, are those good? I would say Ty Lopez is definitely trash. Billy Jean actually has pretty great courses, but his isn't really geared to teach you how to start an agency. His is more geared, and it kind of is, but it kind of isn't at the same time. Like, we go into teaching you about operations and how to actually manage the business, how to hire, like forms you're going to need, as well as all of the different marketing concepts. Plus, I know Billy Jean doesn't teach SEO. He doesn't teach like YouTube or video marketing, anything like that, anything about that. He primarily teaches Facebook ads, landing pages, ad scripts, things like that, which again, super, super helpful. But if you're looking to start an agency, it's going to be missing some things that you might want. There's always going to be bad cops, doctors, politicians, etc. I 100% back protests, but the riots are ridiculous. Yeah. And it's really, the more important thing is I support the cause. Like, I understand why they're rioting, and I completely, not rioting, but protesting, and I completely support that. But again, yeah, like you said, when it turns into riots and looting, that's just when it gets out of hand. I'm planning to start SMMA. Should I hire a designer for ad creatives or use Canva? Hire an ad designer. Trust me. The biggest thing, guys, what most people don't understand is you can literally, as soon as you start your agency, as soon as you get your first client, if you price things out, if you cost out your jobs properly, and what I mean by cost out your job, it means figure out how much it's going to cost you to manage that campaign for a month or however long you're doing it for. So if you can get good at costing out your job, then you can predict and calculate what type of money you need to make in return. So, but my opinion is that as soon as you start, all of you should be hiring, pretty much, or not hiring, but outsourcing everything or hiring virtual assistants, so that way you can focus on the things that are going to grow the business. Because you building or creating photos on Canva, when number one, you're maybe not a graphic designer, and number two, like, you can hire someone super cheaply to do that, it just doesn't make sense, because that specific task is not making you any money. And that's what people have to really get down in business and as an entrepreneur, is you have to figure out what tasks are actually going to make you money. Otherwise, you need to outsource it. That's pretty much how it's, a lot of successful businesses, not all successful businesses have made it to where they are, is because they understood, okay, I'm only one person, I only have so much time in my day, so I need to find people who are qualified and experienced to do these jobs so I can focus on the things that are going to generate more revenue. going through the Facebook portion of the course now. It's so comprehensive. Michael, I'm really glad you like the program. I'm telling you guys, like, people sleep on DMS 2.0, but it's easily better than anybody else's program out there, I'm telling you. To give more context, I started running a lead gen campaign for a roofer for $1,000 off a roof replacement, but no engagement. Right. So by engagement, you're not talking about likes on the post. You're talking about um, actual leads generated, like people submitting the form, right? And again, I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear here. No lead form, no signups, no likes, no nothing. Okay. So, and you said, okay, never mind. I saw your comment. Well, here's the thing. It sounds like you're running this ad to cold traffic, and if you are running it to cold traffic, that's going to be difficult. Not that it can't sell, but number one, you have to look at the offer itself. Maybe $1,000 off isn't something that people find valuable. The second thing is you're going to have to check your audiences. Are you targeting homeowners? Like how are you actually targeting these people on Facebook? The other thing is you have to remember, again, if you're running this traffic to a cold audience, you're just kind of blasting this out there to a bunch of people who maybe have a home and you're expecting them to need a roof. So if you're going to, you can try the offer. I would say probably increase the amount if that's possible, because maybe the offer itself isn't valuable, but also, the audiences, and you need to make sure that you're running follow-up campaigns or remarketing campaigns to those same audiences. Usually also, I don't start off with like an offer like that immediately. And again, it's not that you can't. I just prefer to nurture my audiences that I'm marketing to, meaning I'm not just going to sit there and run an ad and say, hey, go buy this. Like if you watch or if you've seen any of my ads on Facebook, Instagram, we start off by trying to pitch our $7 low ticket product that, it's a no-brainer to buy. It doesn't really take a lot of thought because it's only $7. And that's our, lower ticket offer. And then once we get them into the low ticket, then we start sending them information about our higher ticket, which is not really high ticket, our medium ticket product, which is DMS 2.0. All right, so now we're kind of giving them information about that. We're showing them testimonials now about that. And we're setting up our campaigns based on engagement that they've done in the past. So for example, let's say at the top of funnel, I'm running a video ad. And what I'm trying to gauge is, or what I'm really trying to do is narrow down the audience of people who are watching the majority of the video. Why? Because that probably means they're a little bit more interested in my product or service that I offer. Same thing with roofing. And you'd have to get a little bit more creative with it, but you'd want to do some kind of video up front that's maybe funny or just entertaining, but focuses on the fact that obviously you're selling roofs or doing roof replacement or roof repair. After people watch, 75%, you could start with 50% of the video. Once they watch that video, then lead into some other different type of content, like, some type of roofing checklist so you can do a home inspection yourself and figure out whether you need to get a new roof or not. There's all kinds of things but the campaign isn't just hey, here's $1,000 off, come buy the roof, and you shouldn't expect to get a ton of results. Also, how long were you running that campaign? It says, I start running a lead gen campaign for a roof for $1,000. Yeah. So how long were you running it? Was this for 2 days or was this for a day? Did you do it for 2 months and didn't get any results? Because that would also have something to do with it. Have you guys built e-commerce on Duda? Any advice? I haven't done an e-commerce store on Duda. I usually try to stick to Shopify or something like that, where they're more catered to e-commerce types of stores. Does it mean something is wrong with the SSL if it is only secure in one browser? That's actually a very good question. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know the answer to that question. I would try and talk with a web, because that's the thing. I don't know how to design websites. So as far as like once we get into the super technical aspects of how a site is actually functioning, I know the basics of coding, don't really know a ton. Also, I know SSLs have nothing to do with coding, but it just goes to the fact that that is more of a technical aspect of building and uh, and designing websites, which I don't know. So what I would say is this, because it's easy to figure that out, go to Facebook and find a website development group. Like, that's what you guys should be using, those groups on Facebook. Seriously, they are so helpful for finding out information and getting feedback. But go to a group on Facebook that's a website developers group and ask that same question. They'll be able to help you out. I guarantee it. Why would someone use a ghost ad over a one-page ad? I know in the course you said it's mainly for ads, but why not make everything public with an on-page ad? Won't that reach more people? So you don't always want something like an on-page ad. And I get what you're saying. Like, well, if I post it to the page, I can get the organic engagement, and that's going to help. You know, for example, like $100 off, right? Say I'm doing $100 off a product, and I don't want to offer that to everybody. And people will scroll through my page, right? Maybe we only want to offer it to people who they've been viewing our content for 2 months and they haven't bought it. So we're like, all right, let's just see if we can sell it to them for $100 off, right? So there's instances like that where you would prefer to use a ghost ad instead, so that way they can actually see it on your page. If you're running 15 different variations of copy and creative, that's also why. Right? So those ads are considered ghost ads because they're not posted on your page because you have 15 different variations of the same post, right? But it's just going out so that way you can A/B or split test the copy and creative, right? So there's tons of reasons why you wouldn't want to actually do that, or why you would want to use a ghost type of post. Jarrell, Michael, welcome to the family, guys. I was wondering, not wondering. I was going to say I saw you guys purchase it last night. I was sitting at home and saw the notifications come in on my phone. I was like, oh, got some new guys. Wow, that's a lot of things that you guys are helping with. There's a lot of setup. What? Yeah, there is. I don't really know what you're talking about, to be honest. It's probably from something I said earlier. So what platforms are you guys building the site on, and how many? Oh, you were talking about the Done With You agency stuff when I went through that. What platform are you guys building the site on, and how many hours at $25 for around a 5-page basic site? So we're using Duda. That's what we use to build any like business card-esque style websites. So we're using Duda, and how many hours, it depends on the size of the site, obviously, but for about a 5-page. And again, the only other thing that you have to do for the website is you actually have to write the copy and source the images, unless you want us to source the images, which we can, but most people want to pick their own images. And you will have to write your own copy. We're not writing the copy for the site because that's a whole other project. But for a 5-page basic site, you're probably looking at anywhere from 15 to 20 hours, somewhere in there. Shouldn't be any more than that. And really, that's kind of, I feel like that might even be a lot, especially since, again, we have the sitemap ready, we have the wireframe done. All you really have to do is provide us copy, so we're just going to throw copy in there. We'll implement the SEO across the website as well. So I'm imagining 15 to 20 hours, somewhere in there. Exactly, that's how I feel with his course. LOL, your course is so detailed. I just made a new schedule so I can take the training more seriously for the next 3 months. I'm buckling down on it. Hell yeah, dude. I'm really glad you guys do like it, though. Like, that's the thing. We hardly ever get people who come in and they're just like, this course is not what I'm looking for. I mean, we've really never gotten any terrible reviews. The only time we really do get a bad review is when someone doesn't actually take it seriously and they don't get the results they want, so then they blame me for it. And I'm just like, well, dude, that's not my fault. Anyways, how do you convince your... Oh, Jesus, it just, like, skipped all the way down. Oh, my God. Where did it go? Okay. How do you convince your clients? How do you convince your clients? I'm finding it difficult to land clients. It's kind of a long, like, The way I convince my clients is by providing immense value, listening and understanding the issues that they're having, and then providing a solution that caters to those issues. Uh, but that's just what selling is. As far as the methods we use to land clients, we work primarily on automation. So using LinkedIn along with something like Lead Connect to automate the initial outreach. So that way we only focus on actual conversation. So meaning when somebody's actually ready to talk to us, that's when we butt in. But until then, we focus on automation. Uh, but, like Nate would tell you, the guy that I was talking about that landed 8 clients, my preferred method of getting new business is through networking. I prefer to meet people and have them bring me business because, or I sign them up because of the fact that we have a mutual relationship, and ultimately they're buying because they like me, right? And that's what you'll come to understand about sales is it's really just more about who you like or what you like, because you don't buy something that you don't like. You don't buy from people that you don't like. That's just how sales works. Like, you would never go up to your mortal enemy and be like, hey, sell me whatever it is that you're selling. You probably would literally go find a competitor just to rub it in their face, right? So do you feel like you were pressured to try and offer every service starting off to try to get more clients, even if some certain services you aren't your specialty? So I don't feel pressure to. It's my preference to. I actually like to offer a well-rounded service offering because of the fact that it makes it easier to sell when you can walk into the business and tell them, I'm your one-stop shop. You don't need to go hire 50 other agencies to do 50 different things. We can literally do just about everything for you here. So it makes it easier. But there's also, again, there's no one way to do this business. So, for example, like Nate, the guy that I was talking, I know we're talking about him a lot, but it's so fresh. So, and it's relatable for you guys. But he right now is only starting off doing, I think, 3 to 4 services. So he's doing Facebook and Instagram advertising. He's doing CRM management, and then he's doing automated follow-up for his clients. So that way, basically, they run ads, they drive leads. The leads that sign up, they do the initial outreach using their CRM, and then they bring the leads to them. So it's that simple. Once they get the lead or the appointment set, then they step out. But, and it's working for them, and that's fine. You don't have to offer every single service just because that's what I promote, right? Jay Heinrichs, yes. That's why I couldn't, just not a common author, at least not to me. Excuse me. Still in the middle of taking your 2.0 course. I want to get my agency going ASAP. Thank you, sir. You give a lot of useful information. I would love to leave my job and be my own boss. Well, Matthew, just keep at it, dude. And don't give up. That's, people are so, they sit there and say how badly they want to work for themselves or be their own boss, and then they give up so quickly. And what they don't realize is if that's how quickly, they're not going to make it in any business, because being an entrepreneur, you're not always going to have, sunshine and rainbows, dude. There's a lot of days where it's just like, shit, how the hell am I going to make it? That happens to every single entrepreneur. So biggest piece of advice outside of everything else that I've said is just stick with it and understand that it's not going to be freaking easy, and it won't happen instantly. It does take time. But those people who, like Kayla Haley, another one of my students, I like to talk about her because it's her 5 months, I believe, to land her first client. And she was one of the first students to ever take my program. Last month, she did $350,000 in sales. You guys, I'm telling you, it was because of the fact that she didn't give up. She would have never made it there, and she told me she was almost on the verge of quitting. Back, when she first started, she's been in the business now for 3 years. So, back when she first started, she was telling me how she was really wanting to quit because it was difficult, and it is difficult. But those people who stick it out and actually push past that difficulty are the ones who, number one, are going to make the best businesses. They're going to be the most successful, and they're going to get all of the things that they wanted out of life, or at least out of, this business. Sorry. I shouldn't have even put it in there today. Anyways. What if you don't have the money to hire VAs right off the bat? You will. That's the thing. Once you get paid from your client, then you hire your VAs. You have the money, right? And that's why I'm saying you have to cost your job properly, because if not, then you won't be able to hire those VAs. The biggest issue is most people, when they get that first paycheck, they try to put the whole paycheck in their bank account like they don't have a bunch of work to do. And that work has to get done by professionals. And not all the time does it make sense for you to sit there and write copy or create images, right? So what most of you need to understand is when you get that first paycheck, that's not your money. Really, you're not going to make hardly anything off of your first few deals, because you should be paying professionals in each specific area of digital marketing to help you manage and maintain the campaigns. That's how you're going to provide the best result. That's how you're going to keep happy clients that want to keep paying you month to month. That's how you're going to get new referrals and testimonials. So you will have money right off the bat. So you should 100% be able to afford the VAs if you costed the job properly, and then added on an appropriate profit margin. Someone's really trying to get in here. Okay. I'd like to ask about personal branding, how to trigger engagements. So can you elaborate a little bit more, Laura, about triggering engagements? What are you talking about specifically? The words on my posters are backwards? Yeah, it's because the camera. I promise you they're forward when you look at it in person. How would you attract leads? How would you attract leads the quickest for a free trial? A free trial for what kind of business is it that you're working on again? I'm trying to remember what, I guess. Where did your question go? Okay, so what's the free trial for? Because I don't, honestly, it's, if you're not able to get leads for a free trial, either people don't want the free trial or you're not targeting the right people. That's it. It's literally that simple. Or your ad doesn't tell people well enough that there is a free trial for something. It's one of those three things. They either don't want the trial, they don't understand the ad that you're putting out there, or you're not targeting the right people. So you need to change one of those things. I love how YouTube filters people, so that way all those people who keep trying to, let me see, we're going to report. Report. I love reporting people. Doesn't it kind of make you feel good to report people? All right. Hide this user. Cool. All right, where else are we at? How did I get my first customer? Networking. Remember, it was a children's daycare, and she was a customer from one of my old businesses. I was doing detailing and pressure washing, and so I went into her business and asked her if she wanted to do some marketing. And again, it was because I knew her. It was because she liked me that she was willing to trust me and give me money to run her marketing. Am I still going to do the class or training on Duda? Yep, that's still going to happen. Oh, yeah, Jarrell, dude. If you're in my course, you'll see where I say you shouldn't even touch your ads for 3 to 5 days after you start them, because one day is nothing. Facebook actually, as it's sending your ads, takes time to uh, optimize them so that they are being sent to audiences that are much more likely to engage or click on them. So, oh, and David, don't worry, dude. He's not bothering me. Like, some people are just immature. Really, I guess that's what it comes down to, just immature. Targeting home inspectors with a ad for a $100 referral for people needing roofs. Also target gutter installers. They see roofs all day. Yeah, but that's the thing. You're not really targeting the audience of people that would. I mean, not to say that that strategy couldn't work, because you could totally get a bunch of people sending you referrals, which could be beneficial. But if you're trying to get directly to people who need home repairs or roofing repairs, then you're speaking to the wrong audience. You just need to be speaking to homeowners. That's really what you're looking to target. Golly, some people getting angry today. I get it though. They're annoying. If you have a question, just ask a question. That's like the whole point. Just put it in there. How would you handle a client that adds another agency to a Facebook ads account without permission? I mean, honestly, it's their Facebook ads account, so they don't need your permission to do that. If I'm understanding that correctly, if it's their ads account, they don't need your permission to do that. And they're allowed to use as many different advertisers as they want. So really, there's nothing you could or should do. Kanisha, when you first began SMMA, did you have another job? How did you balance life and starting your business? Kanisha, yes, I had another job. I actually ran another business. I was doing, like I mentioned, detailing and pressure washing. And the way I managed it was by working 90 to 100 hours a week for like the first 6 months. And it sucked. It really did. It was not a lot of fun. I mean, it was fun because it was cool building the business and getting all that going. So, but then like I got really burnt out and I had to take some time off for a long time that, I didn't really want to take off, nor could I take off because it just wasn't a good time. But really, the thing is, you just kind of have to get rid of everything else. You kind of have to say, okay, well, I'm not going to go out and party anymore. I'm not going to go hang out with friends as much. I'm not going to see family as much. I'm not going to do all of these other extracurricular activities that I've been doing because now I have to spend this time to build my business. And really, that's the thing. Most people aren't willing to put in that much time and effort for the amount of time required. And it's not to say that that's the only way to do it. You don't have to. It's just if you want quick results, it's going to take a lot of work up front, a lot of front-loaded work. So that's the thing. I kind of got rid of everything else. I wasn't even dating in that time. Like, I wasn't even trying to see women. I wasn't hanging out with friends. I was barely seeing family. So it's just that's the thing. You really just have to figure out what slack you can cut, and what you're going to need to do as far as like your schedule is concerned to adjust for the amount of time that you need to put into it. Hey, Emmett Kelly, you clearly don't know how cameras work, but that's okay. Why does someone like why this that's just egotistical as hell. Why would someone come on here and say your shirt is backwards? You lost my business. You can't plan your shirt. You can't plan my business strategy. I don't care. Like, I love how people think that they are the shit and that if I don't get to do something for them, then I'm missing out on something just so detrimental to life. You guys who think that I care, I really don't. Like, if you don't want me to teach you, then go find someone else. Because when you're scrambling around trying to get it done right, or when you don't figure out what the hell you need to learn and you're doing it wrong or your business fails, I'll be the one laughing. So, when I get about 2 clients, I'll get a nighttime job or something to get some money for rent and stuff and use the agency money to keep building it. Yep. All right, guys. It is really fun reporting people. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here for tonight. I think that's enough for tonight. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it out early tonight anyways, since we had a long day yesterday and a lot of video yesterday. But, guys, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me, asking questions about your marketing agency. If you guys have any other questions that you would like to ask, make sure to come back after this video is reposted and the replay is posted, and you can ask any comments or ask any questions in the comments. Please do me one quick favor, guys. If you are watching right now and if I've ever answered a question or helped you with anything related to digital marketing, please help me by throwing a thumbs up on the video. All you have to do is go right below the video. If you're on your mobile phone, you have to close out of the chat really quick and you'll see the thumbs. If you're on desktop, it's pretty easy to find that. I'm sure you can see it. But just do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button so that way more people just like you, more agency owners and marketers just like you can get the information that they're so desperately needing. But I'm going to get out of here for now, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys next Thursday at the same time, 7:30 p.m. EST. But until